Good morning and welcome back. This is part of my personal challenge for the month of January, where I want to release a new video every day. So if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button and join me. I'm here with my father today, Kirk, who is a heavy machine operator and a truck driver. And I figured he'd have a different perspective on a lot of questions. So hit that subscribe button and join me. And don't forget, every Monday and Friday, I release new content as well. Every Monday is a Manliness Monday, where I go over beard care, grooming, and just good general advice for men. And on Fridays, I release a project video. Everything from turning bottle stoppers, making furniture, even shooting the camera stand that I'm filming on now. If someone you loved was killed in front of you, but someone created an exact copy of them that was perfect right down to the atomic level, would they still be the same person, and would you still love them just as much?
No.
No?
Couldn't be. Wouldn't be the same person.
No, I don't think it would be. But then you come across the Star Trek example of a teleporter where someone's taken apart and then reassembled.
It's the same person.
Well, they're different atoms though. It's the same information.
Yeah, but it's not the same person.
It's not the same person?
If you were teleported, that is the same person. But if you're talking about like someone that you knew was gone and then they made another one, it's not the same person. You don't have the history. What was your relationship with that person? So if that person was gone and they put another one in its place, it's not the same person. And you would know that. But if it was so close and you never knew that happened, well then to you it wouldn't be any difference. So it wouldn't make any difference because you wouldn't know. So if you know is the thing. No, it's the knowing that makes the difference.
So knowing that's not the original person.
Exactly. If they were exact in every way, and the only difference was you knew, then it's not the same person. But if you didn't know, and they switched that person, then it wouldn't make any difference to you because you wouldn't know. That's just it. It's the knowing that happened. Now, if you didn't have any memory of it, then it wouldn't, it'd be like being unconscious and coming out of a coma and starting all over again, looking at somebody you knew for 40 years, but you didn't know any of that. You didn't have any of that history. But if you had all that history and knew that person wasn't that person, look at it this way. If you were the person that came out of the coma, and you were the spouse of that person that knew that person, you knew them all that time, they went into a coma, they came out of the coma, now they don't recognize you. To you, it's that same person. You know the whole history, you know what happened.
Yeah.
To the person that comes out of the coma, you're looking at this other person for the first time going, what? So it's the knowing that makes the difference.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I mean, to me it would be. It would never be the same. I mean, you know it's not the same person. If you didn't know, of course you wouldn't know. You don't know what you don't know, so. Well,
what do you think about, this is a little bit different, but have you ever heard of the grandfather's axe paradox?
No.
Basically it's, that's your grandfather's axe hanging on the wall. But, 6 years ago, the handle broke. You put a new handle on it. Is that the same axe?
No, it's not the same axe.
No?
It would be if you didn't know the handle was.
Are those your boots?
Yeah.
Did you ever have to replace the shoelaces?
Not on these.
Well, on your shoes, have you ever had to replace the...
Oh yeah, yep.
Are they the same shoes you had?
Yep. Same shoes.
But they're not the same shoes though. Because the same shoe is broken and you got rid of part.
Wait a minute, no. You're kind of wrong there though, because the history of that shoe, it's changing the lace, part of the sole wear and the stains on it, the little rips and stuff, that's still part of the history of the shoe. So once I stop wearing it and put it on a shelf, then if someone changes the lace afterwards, then it ain't the same. But
Okay, so
the history, because that's what you're celebrating, the history of it.
yeah.
So the thing that traveled through that history. So you're talking about the axe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the piece of the axe that didn't travel through the history that somebody put on there, it's not the same. You know, that's the repair. But the rest of it, the whole idea of it, you know, that this is something that somebody carried and somebody forged a life with and all that. Yeah, of course, all that. But as far as the axe itself goes, no, it's not the same thing.
Well, no, because, you know.
So if you're looking at like, I mean, there's different ways of looking at it. Like you look at it like, if you're looking at it as far as it's the story that it tells from the guy who carried it, or the story of the tool, where it was so rugged it could handle all that hard work and everything. So when you replace a piece of that, though, then you see you're taking some of that away. But as far as the rest of the history of the man who carried it, that's what that represents. You know, that tool represents the history of that guy. You know, the history of not just him, but that time, you know, when that's what people did. So, you know, what was the question again?
Well, it started out as copying somebody, but
Yeah, copying somebody. Yeah, you know, if you knew it, it wouldn't be the same. It just wouldn't. Things that you go through, I mean, the reason you get attached to them is because of their flaws.
oh yeah,
Because if it was something perfect, it wouldn't be. I mean, you can. That's the differences in things, is the flaws in it. You know, 10 perfect things. Well, what's the difference between one or the other? You know what I mean? They're all the same. It's the flaws in it that you know,
come to cherish and care about.
yeah, that's what you recognize.
Well, it's funny. One of the books from Star Wars with the Clone Army. Well, they saw all the differences, the imperfections in each other, because everyone else just saw them all as an identical thing, because they're all cloned from the same person.
Yeah. Well,
But when you take the helmet off, you know, well, this one has a scar here. This one's a little bit more worn. This one has a slight stubble. That one eats, you know, extra rations, so his cheeks are a little bit chubbier.
plus I knew a couple different sets of twins.
Yeah.
Going through school, and I didn't like them the same. I could tell them apart.
Yeah. Well, I knew, you know, McDonald's brothers and the Higley brothers.
Yeah. When you first see them, you can't tell them apart, but after you get to know them, I mean, that's what you notice. You notice the differences in them, the flaws. That like one's different than the other here.
Even after a few years, like I could tell Mike and Nick apart on the other side of the field.
Yep.
Because, you know, one was a little bit taller, one was a little bit chubbier. One walked this way, the other one walked that way.
Exactly.
Slightly different mannerisms.
And that's the kind of things that, you know, that's what life does to you. You learn in life, or, you know, life shaped you that way. And that's what your history was with that person. Especially if you knew them for a long time, you knew them how they changed through, you know, through time.
So it's not really the person, it's the history of the person.
Yeah.
And that's just evidenced on their body.
And if, like you said, if you knew that somebody changed them, well, that history's gone. You don't have that history no more.
Yeah.
You're starting over again, unless you didn't know it. You know, if you didn't know it, you know, your history wouldn't be interrupted. But if you know it, then it is interrupted, and you just know that it's you know, if I had a car, and I had a car for 15 years, and someone gave me a brand new one that was identical, it wouldn't be the same thing.
Well, yeah, it would shift the same. It wouldn't.
Yeah, it would just be different.
Yeah, you'd be able to tell. Yeah.
You'd be able to tell as soon as you sat in it. Even if they tried to make it as close as they could to exactly the same, it wouldn't be exactly the same, and you'd know it.
Well, even things that come off a factory line,
They're not the same.
they're close. They're as close as you can get. But yeah, they're all intrinsically different because, you know, every time this die strikes, it wears a little bit. So between number 1 and number 10,000, there's differences.
Not only that, is you're putting all those things together, so it's constantly being assembled. So it's being assembled just slightly different.
Each time.
Yep, a different combination of things. So the end product is kind of a lot different.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't sat in two cars ever, two of anything. Like I run, you know, heavy equipment, and you get in pieces of equipment, and they're, you know, when you walk up to them, they look the same. And once you get in there and start moving the seat around and getting stuff, you know, especially when you start running the hydraulics and the engines and stuff like that.
Oh, sure, yeah. They've
react a little bit
been
different.
used differently. They've been worn differently.
Yeah, they're all just
different
a little
parts have been
different.
replaced.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. And also, if you have anything that you'd like me to go over, please let me know in the comment section below. I would love hearing from you guys, and it really does make my day when I get a comment. So hit that subscribe button and join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Remember, guys, stay thoughtful, and I'll see you next time.